Good evening. Good evening. How you guys doing out there? It's in the Spotlight podcast back live. Got a very, very special guest tonight. Got a legend, a Spotlight legend in the house right now. Spotlight legend in the house right now. Mr. Shep Garner. What's up, Shep? How you doing, man?
What's going on, G? I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, man. This is gonna be legendary.
Indeed,
This
brother.
the
Indeed, man.
platform that started
Indeed.
it all.
Very special guest tonight. Turn this off. I just shared the joint with your mom and stuff, man. It's a pleasure
Appreciate you.
having you on, man. And I'm so proud of you. I've been following the things that you got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Congrats
Thank
on your
you.
new job down there in
Thank
Florida.
you.
I'm hating that good weather down there. You just chilling.
Thank you.
That's good.
Thank you,
But
man.
seeing you giving back, man, is truly a blessing. And I'm
Right.
proud of you and give you your flowers for that, man. Now, man, we're gonna take it back from the essence on where it started at all the way through, man. So talk to me about growing up in Chester, man.
Man, look, growing up in Chester is different, from most places. It's a basketball city. For those who don't know Chester, I call it the Mecca of basketball. You know what I mean? No disrespect to my Jersey and New York people, but that's all we do, man. We play basketball. Everybody play basketball. And my class, my era was an era where, I felt like we grew up watching the Darren Govins and the Tyreek Evans and the Karan Burtons, those were the guys that was superstars to us growing up. So, we had to look after. So my era grew up around guys like Rondé Hollis Jefferson, Conrad Chambers, Day Robinson, Darius Robinson, Rashawn D. Jarnett, Jaquan Johnson. These are all guys from Chester. You know what I'm saying? I can't name them all. It's too many of us, but I feel like that's the golden era of Chester, and I was just a product of it. Guys like Haas, Big Haas. That's a guy. Malik Walker. My dad obviously. Rest in peace, Coach Rob Pittman. It's my guy. Rest in peace, Coach Rob. Damn. Coach H. It's just a bunch of guys, a bunch of coaches that put a lot of time in with us and developed us. And Chester Biddy was vital for us. Growing.
You froze a little bit.
You there?
Yeah, you froze a little bit. You good?
You see me
talking
still?
about Chester? Yeah, I see you. Yeah, Chester Biddy. That joint is legendary. I definitely want to hear about that joint, man.
Yeah, Chester Biddy, man. It was like, it was in a small gym. It was a gym called Smetley. Real small gym, but that's where you made your name in the city. It was important that you played Biddy. And we had guys from Jersey, we had guys from Delaware, we had guys from Philly, Coatesville. A lot of guys made their name and made sure they came to Chester. But Chester Biddy was a real hard-nosed, intimate basketball league, and it went from six, 7, and 8s to 11 and 12s. Now it goes, I think, 11 and 13 now. My dad is actually helping run Chester Biddy at now, so it's like kind of great. I give him his props all the time for investing back into the community and stuff like that. But Chester Biddy is awesome, man. Chester Biddy is where I first made my name at. I mean, I got lifelong friends through Chester Biddy. Chester it's just a basketball city that, we pride ourselves on defense. We pride ourselves on heart. We pride ourselves on winning state championships or winning championships, period. So, that's what I came up under. That's what made me.
Indeed, man. Indeed, man. Y'all got a great history, man. I'm hating because my city they couldn't get it done to win those state titles since like '61. So when I see Chester's and I see Camden's and I see, a little part of me be like, Dad, you know what I'm saying? We had Trenton Catholic, but it's just not the same. Like y'all got the Chester in your hometown and all that stuff, man. So when did you know that you might got something here? Like, I might be kind of good at this, man.
Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my mom say, I was very young when she could see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't really that good young. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had a nice little 5'6". They, people could say, yo, he could shoot a little bit, he could play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
7 and 8 wasn't that good. Wasn't that
Mm-hmm.
good. Didn't really get in the game that much. 9 and 10, got in trouble in school. Mom sat me out. Couldn't play that whole 9 and 10. So I missed that. I missed them, and I broke. I had bone spurs in my foot
Mm-hmm.
after that. So I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't play 1 year. The 9 year I couldn't play. The 10 year I had bone spurs in my foot. I was in a cast for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I missed my 9 and 10 years. But when I came back after that after being out them 2 years, I told my mom and my dad, I'm like, yo, man, I like playing. I want to be good. I want to be good. And at that point, I started to put a little bit more time in to just trying to be a good basketball player. I wouldn't say I was super duper serious about it yet, but I was tired of sitting on a bench. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And all my friends
Mm-hmm.
out there playing. And, I had to, first of all, I had to sit on the sideline for 2 years crying every game because I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
play. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I thought that time of my life struck a fire under me to where as though I'm like, all right, when I get back out here, I'm not sitting on the bench no more. And I want to be good. I want to be one of those guys that everybody look at and be like, that's the guy. And
Indeed.
that lit a fire under me. So I would say it wasn't till maybe 11 and 12 where I started to take the next steps. And Biddy is where I figured that out at. That 11 and 12 year, I came back. I was the last pick in the first round in the draft,
Wow.
last pick in the draft. Shout out to Raouf. I'm sorry I forgot you, Raouf. I'm so sorry. Raouf was my Biddy coach. Raouf was my Biddy coach. Love him to death. That's my guy still to this day. Raouf picked me. He picked me with the last pick in the first draft. I felt disrespected by that, and I brought that with me to Biddy that 11 year. And everybody realized like, yo, he for real now. You know what I'm saying? And I was there. I made my name. I got MVP. I lost in the championship. Only player to lose in the championship in Biddy and get MVP.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, how did you hook up with Youth Interlock?
I mean, I was born in the youth interlock. My dad coached
Mm.
Jameer. My dad
Okay.
coached Jameer Nelson and
Mm.
Kashif Payne and them.
Mm.
So when I was born, I was a baby going to Las Vegas with Jameer and my dad and them. I was out there already.
Dope.
So when
That's
I was
dope.
out, it was already in the plans for me to play for you from like I didn't plan on playing for nobody else.
Oh,
You
I
know
love
what I'm
that.
saying?
I
So
love that.
um
Love that.
I'm me, man. I'm loyal to the
Yeah.
core, bro. I can't I don't it don't matter what it looked like to me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like I could make
Mm-hmm.
my own name. I could make my own. The brands. I knew the brands would come to me. I knew that.
All praises.
I
Indeed.
knew
Indeed.
that. I knew that. So I'm like, okay, you know, you Frenalock, Coach Malik Walker, you Frenalock. My god brother Mahir was on the team. Christian
Mm-hmm.
Irons was on the team. My cousin Tyrell, Kyle Coleman, Juan. They my boys, the original You Finna Lock boys. You know
I
what I'm
remember them.
saying?
I
This
remember
this
them.
before Nas came. This before
I remember
Nas
that.
came.
I
You
remember
remember
that. I
them?
remember that. Yeah.
So
And
so when I joined 18, um, well I wouldn't say when I joined 18, but they came over to You Finna Lock.
mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right. My pop was like, all right, cool. We gonna play with them. They your age. We gonna play with them. So I played with them. I remember Coach Malik was the first coach to tell me like, yo, you could be special. You are special. You the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You the guy on my team, and we gonna go as far as you go. He was the very first coach to put that battery in my back to say like, yo, you special. You the guy. You better than everybody. He was
I
the
remember
first
when
person to say that.
I remember when I first saw you at the event the guy used to do in South Jersey, the Midnight Madness joint, and you was a young boy. And I remember writing about you there, but then when I really got to analyze you was at 12U Nationals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
and I remember watching you play, man, and I was like, yo, this kid focused and he nice, man. Tell me what you remember about that experience down there in Hampton, man.
That picture right there, man, it's crazy even looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
That picture right there, I remember, shout out to my guy, PJ Thompson. PJ Thompson is a coach at Purdue now. We battle in college too. But that tournament right there is where I met PJ Thompson. They was Indy Ice at the time. We beat them. Hard fought game. Respect to all my Indiana dudes. Them boys can play. But I remember that's where I found Houston Select. Right, Houston Select was number one in the country. Yep. Houston Select was number one.
That's
in the
when they had Oubre, right?
Kelly Oubre, Tony Upchurch, Justice Winslow, De'Aaron Fox. They had a squad, man. They was tough, but I ran into them. We went into overtime in the Final Four, and we lost.
That's the year that Arkansas won it, right?
Arkansas Mustangs won it. Yep.
I remember they was the first team I saw lose on purpose in the pool so they could go to the other side. They forfeited their last game.
I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, because what they did was you remember how they used to have a bracket on the wall?
Yeah.
So after when pool play was almost over, they knew if they came in first, they would go to another side. So they didn't come to their last game, so they could go in second. And then they went on the other side of the pool, and they had Jaleel Okafor and the point guard that went to Kentucky. What's the small point guard name that went to Kentucky that played for the team? Yep, Tyler Ulis. He was the point guard, and Jaleel Okafor was the center.
Yep. And they had Anton Beard.
Yep. Indeed.
Yep.
Yeah. So
we went to war.
Yeah, that's when I saw you down there, and I was like, this kid's something special. Then you know what I mean. And then that next year, I was hollering at your dad and stuff. That 13-year-old year, and I finally got y'all to be able to come over. You know what I mean? Because it was some grown up stuff going on back then, where they went in, where y'all and a couple other teams wouldn't come over yet. You know what I'm saying? I had some things going on with King Street, so they started having their own tournaments. Then it turned into this and that. But then I think Big Haas bridged the gap with me and your dad, and I started dialoguing with him. And then your dad brought y'all over the next year. And then your 13-year-old year, you started balling, man. So we could get into the 13-year-old year now, man.
All right, so look, what happened was, this is what happened. So you see the first jersey you had up said Team Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
This jersey say U Fenelon.
Mm-hmm.
So Team Nelson was obviously Jameer's team. Jameer is a U Fenelon product. Jameer came up under U Fenelon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his team was under U Fenelon umbrella. And going into that 13-year summer, Jameer decided to get his own team. He had signed with Reebok.
I remember that.
Became Team Nelson. Big Haas wound up going to Team
Nelson.
Remember that?
Yep. I remember that.
Right.
So, and that's when Nas and them was playing with it first. Yep.
There you go.
I remember that.
Right?
Yep.
All right. So what happened was, like I said, this is where the loyalty is embedded in me. You feel what I'm saying? Right here. This is where it all started. Loyalty over everything. My pop said, we not going. We U Fenelon. We staying here. Even if it's just you, I'll make my own team. Right? I love my Team Nelson guys. Coach Malik, that's my dog to this day. My homies. They all still my homies to this day. But right then and there, my dad taught me something.
Wow.
And even when even when all your homies and your guys that you was, sacrificing and bleeding and sweating with, they went that way. You stay here. And ever since then, loyalty and what you stand on and what you believe in and really believing in yourself, that's where it started right there. So
shout out to Big Shep. Shout out to Big Shep for putting that seed in my young boy, man.
I love that, man. Shout out to the judge.
Indeed.
So Delaware Hawks was a team that
I remember them.
You Finnerlock with Coach Malik and us, we was battling every year for who's the best team in the Mid-Atlantic. Who's going to go down to the Nationals and go the furthest, and it was us and them. Now, before I came to U Finnerlock, before I started playing AAU with U Finnerlock, mind you, I told you I set out the 2 years prior. So this was really my stamp on the scene. That what's that 12 year, right? So we battling, going back and forth, tournament to tournament with Delaware Hawks playing in the championship.
I remember.
And Delaware and Chester is, it's 15 minutes apart. Wilmington and Chester is right there. You know what I'm saying? So we battling with guys that we know. And
Delaware had Austin and Waymere, right?
Austin and Waymere. That whole squad. Wound up joining wound up coming to U Finnerlock.
Delaware Hawks whole squad. I remember when y'all was in 8th grade. Yep. So that 7th grade year, this year was the year that first team started with the orange and black. Them jerseys is iconic right there. So we playing the 7th grade year. We playing. Delaware Hawks joined me and my pop. Shout out Coach Will Thurman for coming over. That was a huge move by them, gutsy move, because we was kind of like the enemy rivals.
And, we was kind of like the rivals. But like I said, I was on an island by myself, and it was like, well, why wouldn't we join him? He over here. Why wouldn't we join him? You know what I'm saying? So they joined. We all joined forces. And we literally became the best team on the East Coast.
Yeah, and then y'all came through, man. Y'all came through the tournament. Y'all was doing y'all thing, man. And I got the picture when you won Player of the Year 13U. You know what I'm saying? So how was it when you first started to come play in my tournaments and stuff, man?
I mean, to be honest, the first one I didn't really know what it was. I was just going to compete. I was just going to play. Any tournament I went to, I wanted to win a championship. I wanted to win MVP. Every tournament, right? So that didn't really matter to me. I didn't know what B-Ball Spotlight was. My dad wasn't really like, yo, this B-Ball Spotlight. We can go to. He wasn't that. My dad not that type of dad. My dad is, yo, we got a game tomorrow. Be ready to play. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all. It ain't too much ramping. It ain't too much motivating and hyping them up. None of that. We don't do none of that. We just right on the court. We hooping. We ain't got no rap. We hooping, right? But before we get to that, before our team was complete, I got to give you how we got to the completed team, right? So we go up. That team, Austin, and then we go up. Me, Austin, Waymere, Lorenz, Will, Jorge. We all go over to a tournament in Jersey, right? Malachi Richardson is playing for the Gauchos. Anybody that know the Gauchos, right? They high energy, trash talking. They think Gauchos people think they the best teams ever, best kids ever. Y'all can't touch them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know nothing about the Gauchos at this point, but I love that kind of environment where you got fans screaming. Anybody that know my mom, she love a crowd. She got fans that bicker and talk trash. She loved that. I love that. So we got into it with the Gauchos. We wound up blowing the Gauchos out, right? We wound up blowing the Gauchos out and winning the tournament, right? Malachi Richardson, his folks after the game hollered at my pop like, yo, we love, we like this. We like y'all squad. You know what I'm saying? We want to join. Malachi Richardson come over. Now we got Malachi with us too. Now we complete. Now we ready to go on the road and really go after that national championship that we fell short on the year before.
Indeed.
So this year, this 13 year, now we complete. Going into this tournament, going to the B-Ball Spotlight tournament, that 13U year, it was like, okay, we in Jersey. We basically home. We got to defend the home base. Flat out. You know what I'm saying? I know it's Jersey teams in it. It's New York teams in it. You know, I always look at who in the tournament. Every tournament I go to, I want to see, okay, where they got us at. Okay, now who we playing against? Who in our pool? Who in this tournament? Who the best teams, right? So I knew it was going to be good competition. When you playing in Jersey, New York, DC, at that time, it's good competition. No matter what tournament it was, it's going to be good competition. Any tournament that we went to. So it was good comp, man. I went out there to compete. I can't really remember the first tournament that we went to. I don't know if you remember, but I don't remember the first tournament. But I just remember them B-Ball Spotlight tournaments was high intensity. And how I really started to fall in love with the B-Ball Spotlight tournaments was the write-ups after the tournament was over. For real, I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? It was like you got some.
If I was a kid, one of the reasons I started doing it was like I remember when I was in 6th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade, right? And we used to have to wait for the newspaper to come out to read about what we did. Now you take a newspaper to school, you try to show everybody. But I said, imagine if I was in computer class and I done told all these girls and stuff how nice I was in basketball, and I could go on the internet and just pull it up. You get what I'm saying? And then I could send it to my family all around the country online and this and that. Like, so I knew that was gonna be the hook, and nobody was doing middle school. So it was like, yo. So, and I had people that laughed at me and said this was a stupid idea, but I saw something that a lot of people ain't see. You know what I mean?
Man, that was incredible. You was a trailblazer. You was the one that turned it up for us. Like the B-Ball Spotlight tournament was so crazy because you knew, first of all, you turned the competition up with the write-ups. Now you coming out there to play and you giving it your best. You want to win the championship. You want to have if you could score 50, score 50. If you could win by 50, win by 50. Because Mike Melton is going to blast it out to the world what just happened. So it was like important, man. It was like it wasn't the Nationals and it wasn't the MIT, but it was right under that. And to me, the write-ups for the MIT and Nationals wasn't the same because they was kind of like newspaper joints. This was like, no, I can go online and see. You want to see what I did? Okay, look, B-Ball Spotlight. You know what I'm saying?
All praises.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. It was incredible. A lot of iconic battles. And another thing that you probably didn't really understand at the time, what else made B-Ball Spotlight tournaments so crazy was the actual floors that we was playing on.
Yeah, I remember the floors. Yeah, the four floors and the what's the name? Yeah, and the way
the NBA floors.
Yeah, and the way hoop group was set up is so packed in. Yeah, so everybody on top of each other. And ain't nowhere to run. Ain't nowhere to run. Like you got to really have that game up like that. You know what I mean?
So it's 13U 7th grade or 8th grade?
No, we about to go to 8th grade. I got something for you for 8th grade. I got something for you for 8th grade. So you won the player of the year, man. Congrats on that and stuff, man.
Thank you.
And then we went to 8th grade. Let's talk about 8th grade and this battle right here. Y'all used to get it in. How was that battle? That's what everybody wanted to see all the time. That was the talk all the time, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy, right? So
with you and Isaiah Whitehead, that's what Whitehead was on Juice. And what was they called before 8th grade, 7th grade? They was Juice, and then they went to Star Rack City, right? Or was it the other way around?
No, the other way around. Star Rack City first, and then Juice.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
So the thing is, right, about New York. I love New York. I love New York basketball. I love the culture. I love what they stand for when it comes to basketball. That's the true Mecca. Anybody from Chester will tell you Chester's the Mecca of basketball, but New York City, it's not like it. It's not like it. It's nothing like it. I always heard about Jerron Love, right?
Yeah, yep.
I always heard about Jerron Love. Every time I seen Jerron Love, I wanted to kill him. Right? But then this guy come out of nowhere. Isaiah Whitehead, I'm hearing about him. Isaiah Whitehead, I'm hearing about him. They talking about him, right? So we go to the B-ball spotlight tournament. This is the first time we played. I already knew that we was playing them, right? So I'm coming correct every time. But I saw for the first time, this was like my first time where I seen everybody is multiple games going on.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody from the other games
came to
the one court. And it just set the stage for a crazy game.
Wow.
And it was a crazy game. We both had huge games.
Mm-hmm.
You remember who won the game?
Nah. I think they might have won. They might have won.
They won. They might have won.
Because they won. They had stacked their squads. I give them that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all used to bang, but y'all was the two in the region from that class that was like everybody wanted to see y'all bang out. Everybody.
Absolutely.
Now, when y'all saw each other when y'all got older, did y'all used to talk about that and stuff?
Absolutely. That's my man. That's my homie. Like that's where it started though. It started from here. So right here, I can say at this point we was enemies. We was enemies, right? And that's just how I move. I can't. At that point, I couldn't be friends with. I couldn't, because I was so young. I couldn't like separate the two. You know what I'm saying? So you my enemy. I can't fool with you. But my pop, he kind of got cool with Coach. I want to say his name was Dan.
Oh yeah, from over there.
Yeah, I forget. He got real tight, real cool with the coach. My mom got cool with Isaiah mom. So like we kind of, the families kind of got tight, which it kind of made it a little bit better for me. So I could kind of be cool with him. Still was like, even at this All-Star game right here.
Y'all
wasn't all the way cool yet.
The All-Star game. Y'all was the
first.
Yeah,
we wasn't all the way cool yet at this point.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until we got to high school where, we played each other in high school too. Our freshman year was crazy at Widener.
Wow.
But we'll get to that. But like this year was huge for me. Isaiah pushed me. One of the guys that kind of I had to make sure that I kind of outdid him every tournament we went to, because I knew that he was going. Juice All Stars was going to be in the mix. They was going to be, Final Four, Elite Eight, Final Four championship. They're going to be right there with us. I knew we was going to be Elite Eight, Final Four championship. Whether if it was Nationals, MIT, B-Ball Spotlight, we going to be in the mix at the end of it. So I just wanted to always bring my my best game, not only for myself, but I wanted to outdo him.
Indeed, and we always gotta have him.
He pushed me.
Indeed. So now, 8th grade graduate.
Right.
Now it's time to make a decision.
Right.
Now, how you went from Chester to go into Roman Catholic?
All right, so I'm gonna give you a couple stories that not a lot of people know about. So the first one was 2008. Chester High won the state championship, right? And I think everybody in Chester, their lifelong dream is to play in that orange and black uniform. I played in orange and black uniforms my whole life. Youth Interlock, orange and black. You know what I'm saying? Just preparing us for Biddy All-Stars, orange and black. You know what I'm saying? Just getting ready. They was preparing us for
that's smart
the stage, right?
That's
so everybody, you know, we didn't lose a game from 6, 7, and 8 to 11 and 12s. Our Biddy All-Star team didn't lose one game until we got to the national championship in New Orleans. They cheated us, JPRD West. They cheated us in the championship. Kick Raouf out the game. Kick Big Haas out the game. Like it was insane. And JPRD West was from New Orleans. And this right after Hurricane Katrina.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So they said the whole city, you know, everybody in the surrounding areas was saying like, yo, this team, once they get to high school, they're gonna win 4 straight state championships.
Wow.
Easy. Now, if you go back and look, I didn't go to Chester High, but they still got 2. And they went to 3. They lost to Lower Merion in 2013.
Wow.
But they got 2 back-to-back, 1 undefeated season. So they was almost right. You know what I'm saying? But my dad just came to me, you know, after Coach Fred died. I mean, Coach not died. Rest in peace, Coach Fred. He didn't die yet, but he stepped down or whatever. And you know, the way things had went down at Chester High, my dad just wasn't comfortable with sending me there. So I was crushed. You know what I'm saying? I was crushed. Like I wanted to go there more than anything. Like even when I got into high school, I still wanted to transfer back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I love Roman Catholic though. Roman Catholic, you know, just gave me a more broad outlook on, you know, how people and how, you know, you conduct yourself in certain situations in certain areas around certain people, learning how to be a professional, you know, getting that Catholic League prestige. Was what I didn't really understand at the time, but you know, being a man in the Catholic League was something, and I didn't really know much about the Catholic League at the time. But shout out Coach Spree, who was another Youth Interlock product. So Kevin Boyle was at St. Pat's at the time. This is right before they suspended him. So Kyrie is up there, Mike Gilchrist is up there, right? Mike Gilchrist is a final kid. And so Coach Spree is like, yo, you know, talking to my dad, like, yo, you know, they won him up at St. Pat's. They won him. Mind you, this is when St. Pat's is like #1 in the country. This is Kevin Boyle, the Kevin Boyle. Before the Kevin Boyle now. This is like,
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Jersey Kevin Boyle.
Have Ray Miller, the one that probably was recruiting.
Exactly.
He coming on next week.
That's my old head. Shout out Coach Ray.
Yeah, he coming on next week. He coming on. You know he is Scott with Orlando Magic now.
Yeah.
He coming on next week.
So we going up there to work out, you know what I mean, with them. I never had seen Kyrie Irving before. I don't know nothing about him. I don't, you know, I'm in 8th grade. I don't know nothing about these guys. Right? Like I wasn't really a guy. I wasn't really a guy that was like looking at all the high school guys. Like I'm still watching Skip to My Lou, and I'm still watching Skip to My Lou, and Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan was just like, that's all. And Reek, that's all I really cared about. You know what I mean? At the time, I wasn't really looking at the high school guys like that. So, we going up there. I'm like, yo, I like this. They were Jordans. It's a real small gym up there too.
I know. I remember the school. Yeah.
Real small gym.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, they playing this little gym. So I see Kyrie Irving and Mike Gilchrist, but specifically Kyrie Irving. I'm like, we going at it. Mind you, I'm in 8th grade. We getting at it. But Kyrie Irving, you could just see he was just different. He had some like different, the way he hooped was just different. So after that, I'm like, my dad was like, yo, he nice. I'm like, yeah, he nice, right? So I wanted to go there. Like that's where I wanted to go. You know what I mean? That's where we was going. So I don't know which coach called my dad. I don't know if it was Coach Boyle or Coach Ray, but one of them called my dad and was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Obviously they got suspended and he was moving to Mount Verde. He was going to Mount Verde. And he was like, yo, you know, you can go, you know, we'll take him down here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dakari Johnson. They was like, Dakari Johnson is going with us.
I remember that.
So
now you giving out some info right now, right?
Yeah. So my dad and my mom just they wasn't ready for that yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me to leave the crib. And that was just like a sudden thing. Like that would be something that they would have to kind of like mentally prepare for.
Mm-hmm.
And they just nobody was ready to take a leap like that at the time. I mean, Dakari and them did it, like guys did it, but my family, we wasn't ready to do something like that yet. And I don't think I was ready to do something like that for real. But who knows? Mm-hmm. You know, but we didn't go. So now we starting to entertain like, you know, local schools or whatever. And, you know, Chester's out. So it came down to me. What it looked like to me was I visited Friends Central with Emil Jefferson, Devin Coleman. That was like that was a real good school. Just wasn't a good fit for me. I didn't feel like, you know, the school, I just didn't feel like it was a good fit. I didn't feel like it was home. Mm-hmm. Archbishop Carroll with Coach Paul Romanchuk, DJ Irvin went there. My homie Yosef Jacob was there already. And Paul kind of had a good relationship with my dad. Like they was talking or whatever. And then Coach Chris McNesby at Roman Catholic was talking to my dad, and wound up coming down to Roman and Carroll. And it's a little story. My mom got a little story of it would have been Carroll, but because of something that happened between her and him, nothing too crazy, but it was just like, okay, you must don't want my son that bad.
Hey,
cool.
man,
we gonna go over here.
Hey, you can't piss the mom off, bro.
Right. So they kind of like made the decision. Yeah. She don't play no games, especially when it come to me.
Yeah, she don't play
no games.
Don't play at all.
So that the decision was basically made for real for me to go to Roman Catholic. Now, me going to Roman Catholic was when we chose to go to Roman Catholic, that was like a real hard time for me. Like going in the 9th grade, even being in 9th grade, seeing all my best friends, my homies going to Chester High. Kwani wound up going to Lauren Marion, which I did not think that was going to happen. Like Kwani went to the rivals.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? That was crazy.
I know, man.
But knowing Big Highs, it was like not far-fetched. Knowing Big Highs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see it. Mm-hmm. But me going to Roman Catholic, it stirred up a lot of like
I can imagine. You know
what I'm saying? Me being me and not going to Chester High, the city was hurt. Chester was hurt. All kind of names.
Yeah,
you know, people saying a bunch of different things. I won't say, but you know, as a 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid, I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to school. It was a lot on a kid at the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I still would like go to all the games and stuff, but I was kind of hurt at the time about how, you know, the things that I was hearing people were saying. I'm like, damn, not me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So obviously we all got past it after that 1 year. And honestly, after that year, you know, I was kind of like fighting to get back. You know what I'm saying? I was fighting to get back to Chester because like it's nothing like going to war with your homies, with your brothers that you grew up with playing with. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against Roman Catholic. You know, I love Roman Catholic. My teammates, the guys that I play with, we homies to this day. But I wanted to have that opportunity to win a state championship for the city. That was big for me. Like I wanted that. That was like a dream that I never got to accomplish. You know, putting the orange and black jersey on, putting that 33 on for the orange and black, like that was something that I wouldn't say I regret, but it was just something that I wish I would have been able to do, just because like it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it, man.
Now you at Rome, and did you guys make it to the Palestra, to the Final Four any of the years?
Yeah, we made it to the Palestra every year.
How was that? I love
so
going over there for the Final Four, bro.
Yeah, so my freshman year, I'm killing. You know, I'm doing my thing. Now I don't know nothing about the Palestra. They just, you know, at Rome and in the Catholic League, if you know, you know. You know, they say the Palestra. We just trying to get to the Palestra. You know, at this time, Roman was kind of like at a crossroads. Like they was trying to figure out who's next. Like who's gonna take us to that next level? Who's gonna get us back to the Palestra? They was trying to figure it out. The year before I got there, they had Rock Brookins, Montana Mayfield, Daquan Walker, Shafiq Taylor, Britton Lee, Junior Fortunat. You know, it was a bunch of guys. They were okay. They was just okay. They weren't getting to the Palestra. And so when I came, you know, I'm from Chester. I'm America's Most Wanted now. I'm in Shark Waters. I'm in Philly. They don't like Chester. Philly don't like Chester. Chester don't like Philly.
Wow.
That's just what it is, right? So I'm up here. These guys and my teammates really ain't fooling with me like that. I brought me and my homie Rashawn London went together.
That was my guy too. He was nice too. Yeah.
Shout out Sean. So Sean, we went up there together, and that was like kind of my only friend for real at the time. And then my other homie Los, Los didn't play. He did play. Los was on the team. But he wasn't like a star player or nothing. He was just a guy that I got cool with in school. He was a senior when I was a freshman. And he just kind of took me under his wing. Like, young boy, I like you. You tough. You know what I mean? South Philly is like one of the most loyal, you know, realest dudes you can get around as some South Philly old heads. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell that Los was raised by some South Philly old heads. So he took me under his wing, and he was like, yo, you know, you come sit with me at lunch. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm going to show you the ropes. I'm going to show you how this go, and introduce me to the school, Roman Catholic. So Los was my guy. Sean was my guy. And then it took a while for my teammates on the team to kind of like come along. They weren't really fooling with me at the time. And I was kind of like struggling because I'm a guy that's like a team player. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a selfish player. You know what I'm saying? So, it was a little bit of like selfishness, you know, the little kid stuff that go on. And so I had to deal with that for that whole freshman year. But we did go to the Palestra, and I had a huge game. We wound up losing to Newman Goretti almost at the buzzer. Lamin Fulton hit a baseline fadeaway with like 5 seconds left. But I think I had like 17. In the Palestra my first time. The next year we played who did we play? We played St. Joe's Prep, Miles Overton, Steve Astoria in the Final Four. They beat us too. This was Miles and Steve junior year. And then for their senior year, we got them back. We beat them. And then my senior year, we lost to Newman Goretti in the championship to Jaquan Newton and Troy Harper, Jamal Custis, Fresh Kimball.
I remember that. I remember that.
Like that crew.
I remember that.
I kind of ran into that Newman Goretti dynasty. Like I said, I didn't know nothing about.
I was looking up y'all. I was looking up y'all because I do a lot of research before I do my podcast. So I was looking at the champions. I said, "Damn, my boy must have ran into a Newman Goretti juggernaut. They won it like
I ran into that dynasty.
Yeah, they won 6 in a row.
You know, I'm okay with, you know, I don't want to do the super team thing. You know, that never was my thing. I never wanted to join the bbest players. I wanted to beat the best players. And they all went to school together. They all went to Newman Goretti together. I'm like, all right. You know, and Newman Goretti was already good. They had John Davis. They had Hanif Sutton. They had Billy Shank. They had Derek Stewart. And then you add my whole freshman class, and then that next wave fresh and Quade Green. And like they just kept, So Philly is
they was the popular school back then. They was the popular
like how Imhotep is now.
Yeah, they was the popular
school. See how everybody going to Imhotep?
Mm-hmm.
That's how Newman was. Everybody was going to Newman. And
indeed.
They was winning. They won 6 straight. I couldn't get them. I got it one time. My senior year, we beat them at Philly U. We beat them at Philly U. Tone Carr joined the team my senior year. He was a sophomore coming from Abington Friends.
Tone was tough.
So Tone was tough. So I was trying to like groom Tone into, he was kind of shy. You know what I mean? When he first came to Roman, he was kind of shy, kind of like, at first he didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And he coming into a national schedule. You know what I mean? We on planes, we going here, like we all over the place playing.
Yeah.
And it was like, a lot of eyes, a lot of media coverage. He was just getting used to it. So by the time mid-season came, Tone was ready. And I kind of gave Tone the ball like, yo, you good enough. Don't be passive. You good enough. Play. Go hoop. I'm going to get mine. You play. You know what I'm saying? And that was like good for his development too, because now I'm not taking the ball from you. I'm letting you make mistakes. I'm letting you learn, because nobody did that for me. Nobody did that for me. I had to take my lumps and learn as I went. Whereas though him, I was kind of, no, don't do that. Do this. You know what I'm saying? Do it like this, but you do it. I'm not going to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? He was learning. He took a big step that year. And he wound up having a hell of a high school career. Wound up joining me again in college, which was crazy. We're
gonna definitely get there. So how would you cap up your Roman Catholic experience, man?
Definitely a learning experience. It was different. First time I was like kind of out of water. Not playing with my homies, with my friends. I felt like it was like business. I feel like I was thrown into the business of basketball at a young age. You know what I'm saying? 14, 15 years old. I was thrown into, the business of basketball, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember it was a camp. I think my freshman year, it was a camp at Reebok. It was called the Reebok something breakout shootouts.
Reebok U.
Yeah. Yep. It was at
RBKU.
Philly University.
Yep, RBKU. Yep.
And I wound up getting the MVP of the camp in 9th grade, and it had everybody was in that. Harrison Twins, Kill Carr.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I got MVP of the camp, and I had got it. They interviewed me after the camp, and they was asking me the same thing you asking me, like, yo, so like, why you go to Roman? Like, what was, what's the experience like? And I just told him, like, it's a business trip, man. I'm in 9th grade. I'm getting on a train every day at 6:41 in the morning. I'll never forget the time. I'll never forget the time, because I had to get on that train every day, 6:41 on the dot. It's a train.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like I was introduced. I had to grow up quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, my mom and dad ain't getting on the train with me. They not even going to the train with me. They not walking me to the train. They not dropping me off to the train. None of that. Like, it's like, and if it was raining or something like that, they'd drop me off, or but like if it wasn't raining or no bad weather, you get up and walk to the train. You know where it's at.
Wow, I love that. I love that. So, shout out to Shep and Kim for that. I love that. Yeah, I love that.
I just told him it was a business trip, man. Like I told him straight like that. It's a business trip every day. I know what I'm going there for. Obviously, I'm gonna go there and get an education, but I'm going there to, hoop and make a name for myself and bring Roman Catholic back to the forefront of Philly basketball, which I did.
Indeed. Now let's switch gears a little bit. Team final. Do you even know how you got here? Do you even know how you got there?
No. All I know is my dad just told me, yo, this who we playing with. Big Perv was the coach.
Yep.
And I know we didn't have a team, but I always knew Big Perv. I knew them. I didn't know him personally at the time, but I always admired that team, final team with Lil Malik Ellison and Sammy Foreman and Shiz Austin, Fresh, Big Trey Wilkerson, Big Manny. Like, them young boys have been playing together since they was kids. And I always would see them like growing up every tournament. Like, you would see the young boys playing. I'm like, yo, these young boys can go. And Perv was doing a great job at developing them. So I already had admired Perv and how he developed them young boys before I even knew him. So when I found out Perv was the coach, I was excited. And Jaquan was joining the team with me. I found that out. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be crazy. The two best players in the area is on the same team. That was the first time I ever was in a situation like that, where the other best player in the area was on the same team with me.
What happened was your dad called me.
Okay.
You was in 9th grade and then during your high school season, and your dad was like, yo, Mike, I need some advice. They on me. Yeah. All these teams is pulling at him.
Yeah.
And he was like, what you think I should do? I had a good relationship with Team Final. That's how Malachi got there too. I called his mom, called me. I hooked her up with Purvis. Purvis was my man. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So we had that kind of relationship like that. So I had that relationship with a lot of different teams. So when your dad called me, we sat down. He told me all of the different options.
Right.
I said, Shep, we got to go to Team Final, bro. You got to go.
Yeah.
That's the move. That's the move. And he said, like, all right, I think that's what we're going to do. So then I linked them up with Perv, and then the rest was history after that.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. All I knew was, like I said, my pop just told me what we doing.
I'll never forget. I was sitting in the living room talking to him, and he was like, what you think, man? They on me. All these people calling me like da-da-da-da-da. Said, you got to go to the final, man. You got to.
That's crazy.
Indeed.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes. So now take me through your experience with Team Final with Rob Brown and them, man.
Man, Rob, well, before I had a relationship with Rob, it was Perv. You know what I'm saying? And you like anybody that know Rob, right? Rob, you know, he dealing with that 17U team. You know what I mean? Rob is trying to get, you know, at the time, I think our 17U team, he had Rondé playing up on the 17s with Yosef played up. They had Austin Colbert, Jaron Cena. Like, they weren't that good. So me and Jaquan had played up with them down at the Super Showcase that summer.
Orlando. Yep.
In Orlando. We had played up with them. But like I didn't like at first, I don't remember me having too much too much connection with Rob like that. Like in the beginning. I don't really remember having like too much of a like huge relationship with Rob like that. It was more so like Perv with me. Maybe my dad would be different. But I maybe like midway through the summer after we was like killing, then I start talking to Rob, and you know how Rob get. Then he started to get dropping off sneaks and dropping off sweatsuits, and you know taking care of you, right? So I was loving that. Loving that. You know what I'm saying? But after that, I kind of formed my relationship with Rob, and now me and Rob is tight. You know what I mean? Like that's my guy. That's my dude. I appreciate everything he did for me and my family, and you know, allowing my dad to be a part of the coaching staff even after I left. My dad is a final guy now. You know what I'm saying? So my final experience was great. My first year, we were pretty good, but it was only me and Jaquan, the only 9th graders on the team.
I remember
that?
Yeah,
it was Malik and you know, it was Perv younger team. He just made them play up with us. So it was basically the Shep and Jaquan showcase, and that was huge for, you know, my development at that time moving forward, because Perv taught me the details of how to score the ball. Like Perv taught me. Perv was huge for my development. Like taught me, you know, Perv was the first person to teach me, you know, the different layup packages, the low pickup, the high pickup, the spin, the Euro step. Like he would man, Perv was learning how to use the pick and roll correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like learning how to read defenses. You know what I mean? Now I already kind of knew how to read defenses and play basketball at a high level. I already knew how to do that. But Perv like took the details up and held you accountable when you didn't do it right.
That's my
He'll
guy
yell
right
at you.
there,
He'll yell at you. He'll scream at you. But also instill supreme confidence in you where you'll never even think about like a decision or anything like that. Like Perv is a very good coach, but he let me go, man. He let me go. Like I can remember some 30s, some 40s, a bunch of 30s, some 40s. Like it was bad. It got bad that summer.
Who name some people that you know that you gave it to that you destroyed out there?
Oh
that you
man,
remember?
that summer, the players. I remember going against the players. We punished them. I had a huge game. Boo Williams. I got my first dunk on Boo Williams. Sammy Foreman threw it off the glass. I went and got that joint.
Sammy
My dad,
Foreman.
my
Wow.
dad walked out the gym. That first year, Georgia Stars punished them. It was this one team called Southern Kings.
I remember them. That's when they was messing with LeBron and them a little bit.
There you go.
Yep.
They beat us. They was tough. They
Yep.
beat us. We played them at I don't know if you remember the tournament, Bob Gibbons.
Yeah, I remember Bob Gibbons down in North Carolina.
All right, we played them in the champion. No, we played them in the playoffs, and it was like a double elimination. And we wound up playing them again in the chip. They beat us and made us go the long route, and we wound up beating them in the chip.
Oh, that's dope.
But they was tough. Dope. I don't remember who was on their team.
That was
but
dope.
They was tough. Georgia Stars was tough. We used to beat up on all the New York teams, the Gauchos, the Lightning, there was a red and blue team. You remember the name of them? Red, they was like red, white, and blue. Hawks or something like that. New Heights. Punished them. All the New Jersey teams hated us. New Jersey ABC always hated us because we used to beat up on them. I think they turned to We Are One or something like that. They turned into We Are One, I think. But yeah, we were smacking all the teams for real. We lost in the championship. I mean, we lost in no. We lost in the. I think we lost in the Elite Eight or Final Four down at the Nationals that ninth grade year. No, it was the Super Showcase. I'm sorry, it was the Super Showcase. And once we lost, and we was playing with the 15s and the 17s. Me and Jaquan was. So we was playing like 2-3 games in one day. But yeah, we was beating up, man. We was beating up on everybody. And then that next year we got our own team. I feel like that was like kind of like the worst year of my final year. It wasn't a bad year, but that 10th grade year, that team, we just wasn't. You know how especially people from where we from, you get that Nike, you get that EYBL schedule, and you know, guys is kind of like on the one-on, like I'm for self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we wasn't like together. That team, my 10th grade year, we wasn't together. We was still good, super talented, but we wasn't together. That was kind of like my worst year. Or our worst year. I still did my thing. Quan still did his thing, but we just, as a unit, we wasn't together. Yeah, we ain't gel right. Then that next year, Malachi came and played up with us.
Moved up, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he moved up and played with us. Then that's when Mikal came. Mikal Bridges came that year. Muhammad, Abdul Rahman came. Kwani came that year. Eric, what was his name? He from Jersey too. Big light skinned kid, Eric. My fault, Eric. We also had Big Nana Fallon that went to Bucknell.
How did y'all do the Peach Jam?
We went to the Final Four. We lost. At Peach Jam, we lost in the Final Four. So this is what happened. Mind you, I told you we was battling with Houston Select growing up when I was in AAU, right? Middle school. So they turned to Houston Hoops. Right? So all the kids from Houston Select, minus Tony Upchurch, came to Houston Hoops. And we wound up playing them, right? We go through our pool play. It was crazy how that happened because Indy Speece wound up beating St. Louis War Eagles on a buzzer beater. And we all had like a three-way tie. We was supposed to be knocked out of pool play and not make it to the playoffs because of how we had the hardest pool. So Indy Speece beat St. Louis War Eagles at the buzzer, half court shot. It was the boy that with the Xavier, Trey. I forget his name. Trey something. I forget his name. My fault, bro. But we wound up getting in the to the playoffs by the skin of our teeth. And first we beat. Who did we beat the first round? I think we wound up having to play St. Louis War Eagles. And then we played Houston Hoops to go to the Final Four. So that, for me, the last go-around AAU, you know, I wanted to get them. I never beat them. I played them about 2 or 3 times. We played them at the MIT twice. We lost to them twice. And then we played them down at Nationals, lost to them. And, you know, they coming, they Adidas down. At the time in middle school, they was Adidas down.
Yeah,
Mark Cuban taking care of them. They riding around in the big coach bus.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They was doing it for real.
I remember that.
So we was all kind of jealous of that. They was the first, like, sponsor team, like, our age or whatever. So when we got to high school, Houston Hoops, I kind of was like, you know, coming back with a vengeance for real. And we sent them boys home. They was the favorites to win Peach Jam. Like they had, like I said, they had Justin Jackson, Kelly Oubre, Justice Winslow, De'Aaron Fox. I mean, that's, you know, they was like that. They was like that big. We sent them home though.
So now it's that time. Everybody on you, this and that. The senior year is over, AAU is over. Now it's time to make that college selection, man. So how did you get to Penn State and Chambers? Who else was recruiting you? Give us the whole scenario. What happened, man?
All right. My first offer was North Carolina. It was crazy. That's my dream school, but it was just so early, 9th grade. Like, you know, I'm not even really, I mean, I know I got so far to go. You know, I got years to go. So, you know, I wasn't really paying no attention for real to the college offers. I was more so trying to, you know, hoop. And I wanted to be the best player in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like at that time, it was different then than it is now. Like then it was more so trying to be the best player rather than now. It's kind of like everybody getting like edits with their offers and like, you know, I got offered by this school and I'm talking to this school, and it wasn't like that back then. So I wasn't really focused on, you know, the offers and the letters and all of that, man. But like I was getting recruited by everybody, man. I wanted to go to Florida. That's where I really wanted to go. At first, 10th grade, I was about to verbal to Florida, and I told my mom that I wanted to go to Florida or whatever. She busts out crying like, no, you can't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to go that far. You know what I'm saying? So from that point forward, I knew I had to be close. So, you know, I was flirting with other schools, like far schools, like Rondé wound up going to Arizona. They offered me. I flirted with Arizona only because he was there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, shoot, I can go out there. You know what I mean? That'd be crazy if me and him actually get to click up one time. We were supposed to click up in high school. You know what I mean? Never did. They offered us both the same day at Peach Jam. Florida offered Florida and Arizona offered us the same day at Peach Jam. So, you know, we riding back on the bus. Me and him sitting together on the bus. We riding back on the bus. I'm like, yo, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? At first, he like, bro, I'm going to Florida. It was no Zona. I didn't think he was going to Zona. I thought Rondé was going to Florida. And I know he was flirting with Nova a little bit, but Nova wasn't really on me like that early. Nova got in late, so and I kind of took that as disrespect at the time. Like, bro, I'm right here in your backyard.
Yeah.
Why ain't you come hard? Why ain't you come hard? Like they recruited me, but like you ain't really come hard like the other schools was. So I'm like, all right, y'all must don't want me, and that's cool. So you know, Nova was out. Phil Martelli, because of the relationship with Dr. Earl Parasol. Shout out Uncle Earl.
Oh, I remember Earl. Wow.
Remember Uncle Earl?
Yeah, I remember him.
Legend in the game. Legend in the AAU game.
100%.
Sure.
100%.
So I flirted with Coach Phil. I mean, I knew him a long time. My family knew him a long time. He might as well be from Chester at this point. You know what I'm saying? But Jameer went up there, left that legacy up there, which was like big shoes to follow. Darren Govins wound up going up there, tried to fill the shoes. Them shoes is big, man, to fill the Nelson shoes.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So it wasn't like I ran from them Nelson shoes, because I didn't. But I just didn't feel like St. Joe's was the spot for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I wanted something bigger. You know what I'm saying? But respect to Coach Phil. That's my dog. I know he kind of felt some kind of way about me not going there. You know what I'm saying, at the time. But it is what it is. You know, that's my guy. I still love him. I still fool with his son, who now coach at Penn State now. So, you know, Lil Phil is there. So it's like, you know, it's cool. It's cool. But it came down at the end. It came down to Georgetown and Penn State. That's what it came down to. So I go down there to Georgetown. The visit was incredible. Like, the visit at Georgetown was better than the visit at Penn State.
Wow.
Now I go on a visit. They roll a red carpet out at Georgetown. I'm talking about, they bring Patrick Ewing out. They bring Allen Iverson out. They bring Jeff Green out. They bring everybody out. They chilling with me. They chilling with my dad. He busting it up with everybody. So they tested me on the visit, right? So they tested me on the visit. I'll never forget. The whole team, they playing pickup. When I come in the gym, they playing pickup. So I forget what coach it was. But one of the coaches was like, "You want to hoop? You want to play?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to play. give me some gear. You know what I'm saying? Give me some sneaks." I go out there and cook the team. I go out there and murder them bulls. The team, the current team. So they, you know, everybody kind of looking at me. You know, the team, they was kind of looking at me crazy, like, oh. So Coach Thompson bring me to his office. I go in his office. There's trophies everywhere. It's a big picture that go wall to wall. Patrick Ewing with his arms out with the balls, like with his arms out like this, holding the balls in his hand. I'm like, dang, this is crazy. He got a big picture of his dad in his office. But I love the visit. But the way that Georgetown played at the time, it just wasn't the style of play.
That Princeton style.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
All right. So that's really why I didn't pick Georgetown. But if it was up to my dad, he would have picked Georgetown. He was in love.
Yeah,
that was my dad's favorite school.
I couldn't see you playing that style, bro. You couldn't have played that. You couldn't have played that Princeton style. Nah.
I couldn't. But I love Georgetown. I love DC. I say it all the time. I love Maryland. Like down there, that's a great area. But I couldn't see myself playing in that Princeton offense. It didn't really fit the way that I played during that time. So I'm like, all right. But my dad, he was sold. He was like, yo, Georgetown, crazy. Let's go here. You know what I'm saying? But I just was like, no, I don't think that's right. So I start really entertaining Penn State. After that visit, I start really entertaining Penn State. Like, all right,
Wow.
let me see like what's going on up here, because I know this not. First of all, I didn't never hear anything about Penn State basketball ever in my life.
I know. That's what I was about to say. How did it feel being like that sacrificial class to like really take a chance with this thing?
All right, so for real, I already was used to that. Like,
I like
every place I played, the first to do this, the first to do that, the first to do this, the first to do that. Every youth interlock. My middle school I went to, St. Catherine Drexel, at the time, never won a state championship. We won the state championship. Boom. First 1,000-point scorer in school history. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Like building that. Like they ain't won. They haven't won since I left.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I was already used to like building and having it on my back. I already was bred for that. My pop, shout out to my dad. He made sure that I was able to stand on my own 2 feet. When it came to this basketball thing, I could stand on my own 2 feet anywhere in the world.
That's good money right there. Good money
so I wasn't scared of what everybody else would be scared of. Like, man, Penn State basketball ain't known for no basketball players, ain't known for no basketball, period. You know what I'm saying? That's a football school, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, that sounds perfect for me. They get to play Ohio State every year. They get to play Michigan State every year. They get to play Michigan every year. Maryland just joined the Big Ten at the time. You got Wisconsin, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker in them. They just went to the Final Four. So it's high competition. You got Minnesota, Rick Pitino Jr. out there. You got like legends in the Big Ten at the time, still to this day, but at the time it was a bunch of legendary coaches, a bunch of legendary players, a bunch of history that I was like, okay, it's comp here, it's TV every game. Now it's just up to you. It's up to you now.
I like that.
You know what I'm
attitude,
saying,
bro?
That's what it was. So, and I told Coach Chambers, I'm like, yo, this program is not nothing yet. But when I leave here, watch what we do. Watch where your program be when I leave here. I'm going to change this whole place around.
Wow.
I'm 18 at the time. I'm 18, but I just know what I'm capable of. Like, I believed in myself. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that I don't know how I'm going to do it, because now I'm 18, 19, playing against 22, 23, 24-year-olds. I'm going into a same thing like at Rome, and I'm going into a upperclassman team. And, you know, like, and at this point, everybody fighting for their life now. You know what I'm saying? So I respect Coach Chambers, because Coach Chambers actually gave me an opportunity to come in and play. You know what I'm saying? And I knew I would come in and play deep down in my heart. But it was an upperclassman team. John Johnson was there. I don't know if you remember John Johnson, but John Johnson was there. Geno Thorpe was there. They brought in a JUCO transfer right with me. He was with me. He was a junior. I was a freshman, but they brought him in with me at the same time. And I had told my dad, I'm like, yo, they bringing in another point guard? Like, why would they do that? I'm coming in. I didn't understand that. But at the time, now that I'm in this, I understood what that was. Like, if this young bull ain't ready, we got to have somebody else that is a little older that we think is ready.
Exactly.
So,
how long did it take you to get comfortable on the court and off the court?
On the court, off the court, I was comfortable immediately. On the court, a month before the season started. Like, a month from when I got on campus, it took me a month. So it was in the summertime, like the workouts, the running, the weights.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't on the court, but it was like the workout stuff. Like, it took me about a month to actually get acclimated to like how they work as far as like weights, running, you know, stuff like that, like strength and conditioning. That was like the biggest thing for me. On the court, I'm translating. I already, like I said, I'm growing up behind Reek. We working out I never worked out and played against people my age. I was always playing against people that was way older than me. You know what I mean? I'm working out with at the time, I'm working out with Calvin Newell, who led the county in scoring, averaging like 27 a game. But we locking horns. I'm in 8th grade. We locking horns every day, working out. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I was going to be ready as far as like on the court, the physicality, how they play. I already mentally knew, like, man, it's my superpower versus yours. You ain't better than me. I know your superpower ain't better than mine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just use my superpower to get myself onto the court, and I'm gonna make these coaches believe that I'm ready, and that's what I did in a month. It took me a month.
Now, culturally, off the court, did going to Roman Catholic better prepare you for the culture there?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's why I give my parents kudos for pushing me to Roman Catholic and not Chester High, because I didn't see the vision. Like when you go, Chester High is an all black school, inner city school. It's not too many, it's not too many other people there. It's all black. So going to Roman is mainly like white and a little bit of black, or maybe it's like a handful of black and mostly white, Asian, a bunch of different people at one school. You know what I'm saying? So going to Penn State was just Roman Catholic on a way bigger scale. It was the same thing. It was like you got white people, you got black people,
we got
Indians, Asians. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bunch of people. That's why we got parents, because teenagers only see what's right in front of them. The parents get to see farther out. Now, now you tell me your experience at your first like whiteout football game, because I heard the whiteout thing is crazy.
Crazy.
I never experienced a Penn State game, but I heard the whiteout thing is crazy.
Well, my first whiteout was my official visit.
Wow.
Yeah, so my first official visit, they got me on the field. You know what I'm saying? Christian Hackenberg is there. This is it's crazy, right? So this is probably I got to experience one of the biggest plays in the history of Penn State football, right? Didn't know at the time, but they playing Michigan. Christian Hackenberg is playing Michigan, and he threw like a bomb, like a 50-yard pass to the star wide receiver at the time. I forget his name, but it was like an incredible play, incredible pass. He caught it at like the 4-yard line with like 3 people on him, and they wound up scoring and winning the game. That was my first whiteout, my first football game, and my first whiteout. So I got to experience my first football game and whiteout at the same time, and it was a legend. Like I got to see some legendary things, and I was already committed at the time. So I was seeing, what I was getting ready to come into.
Now let's take it to the court. What were some of your best memories before y'all won the NIT thing? What was some of your best memories on the court at Penn State?
My freshman year, I got to break it down by the years. My freshman year early, like I said, I was ready. I came in first game. I think I had like 14 points on Morgan State. My brother Conrad Chambers actually wound up going to Morgan State at the time. But I was ready. Like we wound up going to this tournament, Charleston Classic. We beat USC. We beat USC in the tournament. We beat Columbia at the buzzer. I wound up getting a game-winning steal, kicking it up to DJ Newbill at the buzzer for the game. He laid the ball up at the buzzer. That was like crazy for me. I remember playing against Frank Kaminsky. My first Big Ten game was against Frank Kaminsky in Wisconsin. The coach of Wisconsin is from Chester. Yeah. So Bo Ryan, he was the coach at the time, but he retired after my second year. But my first Big Ten game was against a coach, legendary coach from Chester, which is crazy. I had 17 points that game, but they beat us. But we, like I said, they just went to the Final Four. They wound up going to the championship that year. We wound up going to the Big Ten tournament that year. I think I had 21 the first game, beat Nebraska. Had my first interview on TV. Like, that was crazy. I'll never forget that. Sitting at the table on the board, you know what I mean? Sitting and putting the headset on and talking to, like, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, little stuff like that for an 18, 19-year-old is
big.
like
it's
the
big.
best thing ever. You know what I'm saying?
It's big.
So my sophomore year, I can remember, like, on my mom's birthday, I had a game on my mom's birthday, Boston College. I put up 30 on her birthday, broke the record. I think I still got the record at BC, most threes in their arena. My junior year, I scored my 1,000-point in a palestra on Michigan State. We beat them.
Oh, at home, I love that.
Yeah, and then my senior year, it's a bunch of memories. My senior year, get the game winning steal to beat Ohio State in the Garden, beat them at the buzzer. Next night, scored 33 on Purdue. Go to the Big Ten tournament, hit the game winner. My last shot in the Bryce Jordan Center at Penn State, game winner versus Temple. The next night we beat Notre Dame on St. Patrick's Day at Notre Dame. Beat Marquette on the road, who they were saying they had the best backcourt in the country. At the time, I forget the guy's name. And then I wound up breaking a record in the Garden again. The next game against Mississippi State, 7 threes. Broke the all-time Penn State record. Broke the all-time single season Big Ten record. And we wound up winning the NIT championship. Legendary moments. I cried.
NIT championship, man.
I cried, man. This was incredible for me because, like I said, when I walked in the door, I told them what I was going to do. And to see at the end of it, all that I went through up to that point, it was like we did it. You know what I'm saying? We did it. And I'll never forget, it was a moment after we won the championship. It was a moment that now people in my family knows, like, my dad is not like a affectionate, soft, he ain't giving you no props. He ain't like, it ain't too much. He giving you for real. My dad is the one that kept me humble, kept me grounded. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else, the outside, is telling you how good you are and telling you, all the good stuff. And my dad always was just like that little bug in your ear, like telling you still got work to do. Like, you ain't good yet. You ain't done nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? And that time was after we won the NIT championship, that was the first time I seen my dad get soft.
I love it.
And it was the first time that we embraced each other. And that's when I start crying.
Oh, praises, bro.
Because I was just hugging my dad, and I could tell and I could feel, I know he was proud of me before.
Yeah.
But at that moment, like, even right now, like, I could feel myself getting emotional because I can remember that moment. Like, that moment was just like the confirmation, like, yo, I'm proud of you.
It did something to you. I remember, man, my dad, we had a rocky relationship when I was growing up, and we got cool after I went through my tragedy and stuff. He was there to support me, and we got cool, right? And I never forget, COVID hit, and we couldn't do events in Jersey, and we had to go over to Philly. They had locked Jersey down, so people was going to PA to do events. This when I was still doing basketball events, and my dad came to my showcase. This is the first time he ever came to one of my joints, and I was like 44 or 40 somewhere around at 45.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me he was proud of me when he saw what I did. And it touched me.
Crazy.
So it's that feeling of like your father saying, like, I'm proud of you. And it's something that a person got to experience and know what we're talking about. I know millions have experienced it, but I understood that moment that you was just talking about. That when that father tell you that, and you like, yo, I did it. I got him to say that he proud of me.
I got him to. There you go. I got him to say it. That was it. I got him to. I finally got him to say it, and it was like something that you want. Like it's something that you want as a competitor, as a son, as a ball player. Like we can say what we want, but like we want to make our parents proud of what we doing on the court. Like we don't really care about nothing else for real, for real. We just want our parents to be happy and proud. And I know that my dad was happy and proud of what I've done along my career. But that was the first time after the chip I couldn't wait to find him. Yeah, I seen my mom first. I seen Flav first. I seen Flav. I seen my mom. I seen my sister. But when I found my dad, that's when the tears came. When I hugged him, and he was like, I'm proud of you. I love you. I'm proud of you. And I feel like he was getting emotional too.
Indeed.
And that was like that. Like
he finally knew it was cool for me to let this guard down now.
Yeah, that was
crazy. I can let him know now. Now, how crazy was it when you had your cousin, the legendary Flavor Flav, coming to your games, and what was all that about? Like how crazy was that?
It was for me, it was, I mean, it was different to see. To me, he's just Rico.
Yeah.
But to the world, he's Flavor Flav, and he a star. He a mega star, and I don't see him as the mega star though. You know what I'm saying? Like
I gotta give him his props. Hold up, I gotta give him his props on the fact that yes, on April 1st, I celebrated 5 years of sobriety from alcohol, and I saw a thing where he's sober now. I don't know how many years he got because you see different posts. So last time I saw, he had I think 7 years sober, and he had like 2 or 3 years sober from nicotine, from smoking cigarettes and stuff. But I got to shout outs to Flav if you still doing the being sober, man. Shout out, bro, because I know what goes with that. Somebody that's in it can understand what's going. But go ahead now. It just came to my mind. Just wanted to give him his love on that being sober.
Shout out to Cuz, and I know he gonna watch this. Like he is one of my biggest supporters. Always been, always been. But he kind of came into my life. He kind of came into my life around I want to say high school.
Yeah, I remember seeing the article. About when it was in Philly Inquirer. I remember seeing that article. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
But he's super tight, super tight with my mom. Like him and my mom is tight. They've been tight since they was kids. So I kind of had like a distant relationship with him because of her. But once he started to come around, he kind of treated me like I was the star. Wow, you know what I'm saying? Cool. And he pushed me to the front always. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you just, even to this day, like he makes sure that like, no, you the star. That's like dope. you guy, you it. You know what I'm saying? And anything I could do to support you, tell me and I got you. I'll support you to the end. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
But him coming to the games and supporting me, I mean, he's a legend at Penn State. They still talk about him now.
Wow.
That's just like I said, that's a timestamp in Penn State history. Like we got memories and history up there that like we brought the stars out. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry came to the game. Flav was at the game. People was coming to the games, man. Like it was a time.
Now, when you went back after they started having some success after you left, Did you let them know? Look, I'm the one that started this train, or did the coach let them know that you was the one that you was part of the people that started the train?
You know I don't move like that.
I would let them know.
I think that the coach at Coach Chambers at the time. I mean, it wasn't, they already knew. You know what I'm saying? Like they knew the ground that they was walking on. They knew who built it.
Okay.
So it was all right. Like I went back to support. I didn't really, go back for the love. I went back to show love.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't never really go back to
like
be,
that.
like give me love, give me all the love. Like I'm cool.
Like
I want to show love to the young bulls. You know what I'm saying? To the next young bulls and the next era of kids, and to show that, like, I'm still in support of y'all. Like, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. So now the career over at Penn State, you did your thing there. What's the next process from a player like that?
Yeah.
After that time is up, take us through that process on what do you got to do, like what's going through your head, like take us through that time.
So right after that, you start to get ready. You start to get ready for the next step. You start working out, but before you start working out, now you starting to meet with, different agents and trying to see like what which way we gonna go with this. You know what I'm saying? Now, some things happened prior to me graduating, like years prior to me graduating, to where as though like the way that we had it set up going into college, agent wise, it kind of got messed up. You know what I'm saying? Due to I don't know if you remember, but it was like a whole bunch of like FBI investigations going around at the time.
Yeah.
So like the particular agent that I was fooling with at the time. He had to basically like, yo, I gotta be hands off. Like I can't, I could go to, I could get in trouble.
I know who you talking about. I get
all right, so from that point on, it was kind of like, and me, like everything in my family is kind of like, in-house, closed door, kind of situation. And that guy had been around, still around, but that guy had been around since 7th, 8th grade.
Wow.
So it was kind of like, put together, and, it wasn't it wouldn't have been no meetings and process and none of that. We was already in motion. But it kind of got messed up. So we had to start from scratch and start, meeting with different agents at the time. And I felt like at the time when I was graduating college, when I was leaving college, that process for me, I just felt like it was so different. It was uncomfortable because like I don't trust people. You know what I'm saying? And neither do my family. So we wanted to go with an agent at the time. We wanted to go with an agent that we knew, and we wanted to go with an agent that we felt like we could trust, and we could kind of like, control a little bit. That wasn't the best decision. It just wasn't the best decision. Like that if I could go back, I would go to an agent. I would go to like a bigger agent. Now there was bigger agents that were in contact with us, but I just felt like for that time it wasn't. I don't know. Like I just felt like the timing of things, it just didn't work out right, and I just didn't feel comfortable with none of the agents that I was talking to at the time. It was comfort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, so I went with an agent that I was kind of familiar with. He had been around for a while. And like me and the agent is still cool. Like it ain't no, no harm, no foul. But now me knowing and me going through everything I went through, that's why like I'm so I'm so on these younger kids, whether it's college kids, high school kids, like I'm giving the game up.
That's dope, man.
I'm
That's
giving
dope.
the game up because I don't want none of these kids to go through anything that I went through, because that's hard to go through, being who I am and seeing how everything kind of like played out. It was very uncomfortable for me, and it was a point where it was like, dang, I don't know which way to turn. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know which way to turn, and it was like a lot of people that was there, a lot of people that was around. Nobody, like it was just my family. Nobody was around. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about that part, because I saw other stories with other players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I heard about Trey Duvall went through something similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I saw an article about the night where he didn't get drafted. Then the next day, no phone calls, no nothing, no. And then the abandonment. And I always said that it needs to be something put in place to deal with the mental health of players that got to go through that. Like nobody is there. Nobody seems to care. And then you on this thing, and then it's not there no more. And then everybody just move on to the next person, but nobody is there to make sure you all right. Like, how you feeling? Like, what's going on? Talk about that transition a little bit, man.
It was difficult, man. So now, right, you knowing me, how I grew up, how my career was, college, high school, middle school, right? If you could guess, how many NBA workouts do you think I would have coming out of college? Take a guess.
I get about 4 or 5.
I had none. So right then and there, now I wound up working out for Boston late. Like late. After the draft. You know what I'm saying? No pre-draft. So at that point, I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, how I don't have no workouts? I'm watching guys that I murdered my whole life, college, high school, middle school. Wow. I'm watching guys, one, get drafted. I'm watching guys get contracts. I'm watching guys get workouts. Like, all I wanted was the workout process, because I felt like
once you got in there, you had a shot.
Yeah, that's what I do. I work, I train. You know what I'm saying? At Penn State, my first 2 years, I was a point guard. I was able to show my whole entire arsenal. But then my last 2 years, I moved off the ball. So I became, they labeled me a shooter because I could shoot so good.
Okay.
So I was labeled a shooter, but I'm like, yo, that's fine. That was just a role that I played in that system to make that work. But I got the whole package. I got it all. And all I wanted was the opportunity to get in these workouts so I could show these people, wait, what y'all saw before is still there. And I never got an opportunity to show that. And I was like, that was the first little start of like the depression. You know what I mean? Like that was the start of it. Cause I'm like, all right, you know, good college career, all time, legendary. They like legend. You could put legend next to my name. And I just felt like that was the start of like how, you know, like you were saying, that mental health part. And you know, my family, like nobody in my family played professional sports. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody played basketball past college. My dad played basketball in college, but he ain't know nothing about no professional sports or nothing like that, and how stuff's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? So it was like this was everybody's first time. You know what I'm saying? Like for us, so it was like, you know, like we was just kind of going. But like I said, I felt like I deserved and should have had an opportunity at least to show my talent, show what I've all the years, all the work that I had put in, what I could do, and I never got that opportunity. So what happened was no workouts, no pre-draft workouts. I took that anger out, and it was like it's a pro-am league. All the NBA guys come back.
Mm-hmm.
All the Philly legends come back, guys that's still playing overseas, guys that's coming out of college. I'm wearing everybody out all summer, 40, 30, 45, 38, 37, 35, 42, every game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm wearing everybody out because I'm like, it's no way they not, like, somebody gonna have to feel this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just took it out on everybody that whole summer. Not that had to do with anything, but that was how I dealt with the depression part at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get a DM. From Denny Glunt, who was like an operations guy for the Grand Rapids Drive at the time. He was a Penn State graduate. Penn State graduate. And he was like, yo, like, you know, what you like, you know, what you got going on? Like, you know, I'm like, yo, I don't know. I haven't heard anything from any teams. I know my agent said he was working on some overseas stuff, like trying to figure it out. But right now, to my knowledge, I don't know what's going on. So he was like, what? Oh man, we signing you now. We'll sign you right now. You don't have to go through we're not going to draft you. We're not going to make you go through the little rookie tryout thing that, you know, they did a little tryout thing in the G League. You on the team, you know what I'm saying? But like they made it seem like I was I went through the whole workout situation.
Yeah,
like I was from Grand Rapids and I came on the team and all that.
Yeah.
But they signed me before I was the first person signed on the team. So I get on the team. I meet with the GM John. He like, yo, I'm gonna just keep it real. Rookies don't make it. Rookies don't make it a full season. Rookies get cut. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, it's new, it's different. They got egos. They got this, that, and the third, whatever. It'll be a miracle if you make it through the season. I told him straight to his face, challenge accepted. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I killed the G League. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to deal with, which I wasn't used to, but you got to deal with, you know, you might play 8 minutes one game because you know the NBA guys that come down. The G League is for them. The G League is for the guys that don't play in the NBA and they need to get reps. So they made the G League for the guys the guys that got NBA contracts or two-way contracts to develop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming in, you know. To me, it looked like I'm the best guard on the team. It looked like, all right, okay, I'm looking at my team. I'm like, oh, I got these boys. This is perfect. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? But I just, like, I was getting introduced to the business of how things go. And, you know, I stayed prepared. I worked, even though, you know, at first, like, I'm getting 10 minutes a game, but I'm scoring 8 points, 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting out there. My little minutes that I'm getting, I'm doing a lot. So Coach Krugs at the time, who was the head coach, he fell in love with me. He like, yo, listen, he brought me to his house. And he was like, listen, I understand, you know, you in a tough situation, but I love your game. I love your attitude. I love what you're about. Like, I'm going to give you a shot. Any chance I get, I'm going to give you a shot. And he gave me a shot. Like, so my 10 minutes went to 15 minutes, and my 15 minutes went to 18 minutes, and my 18 minutes with the 22 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And it just kept going up. And I kept having big games. Like, you know, by the time we got to the showcase, which is that picture right there in Las Vegas, I was already primed and ready to go crazy. I went crazy. Both the games in the showcase. I think I had 22 one game. Then I had like 19 the first game, 22 the second game. You know, striking out there, just being me, the old me. You know what I'm saying? And I was having fun or whatever. And we finished the season. We the first time they won the division championship. That was the first time they won the Grand Rapids Drive won the divisional championship. We won that joint. And we won on the road at Indiana. Davon Reed was on the team. Shout out Davon. He was on Indiana at the time.
Big.
So I get in the game, we down 12. First quarter, we down 12. Middle of the first quarter, I get in the game. By the time the first quarter over, we up 2. You know what I'm saying? I go on a run. We up 2. They take me out, let the NBA guys and the veterans go back in, and they went down again. I come back in the second quarter. End of the second quarter, we up 7. We took off on them after that. We won the divisional tournament. We lost in the first round of the playoffs to the 905, the Toronto Raptors team. I ain't played 1 minute.
Wow.
So I kind of was hurt, you know what I mean, about that or whatever, cause I'm like, I know why we lost, cause I ain't played. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because I already know, like we the game before we was gonna lose if I didn't play.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, it's whatever. So after the season is over, they like, yo, you finished the season, like that's crazy, like come back next year, and we gonna you gonna get the real treatment or whatever. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I tell my agent at the time, I'm like, yo, they want me to come back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He like, nah, don't go back. I got something else for you. You know what I'm saying? I got something else for you overseas. He was naming like countries like France and Italy and stuff like that. And come to find out, he ain't have nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, mind you, now the season is over. I would say like around this time, like right now, the season is over around this time, and so I'm waiting. I'm just training at this time. I'm just training. Trying to figure out what's next. Just waiting. And I'm seeing everybody else like, yeah, I leave this day and I leave that day. I'm going here and I'm going there. Just the circles, the basketball talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I don't have nothing. Like I don't have anything. You know what I'm saying? To my knowledge, I don't have nothing. So we waiting now. It's like September. Still nothing. I'm waiting. I'm hearing little things about this, little things, little murmurs here and there. Nothing still. So now it's December. Still nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
Like, this is impossible in my eyes, bro. I just literally, like, you can go watch film and see what I do.
Yeah.
Something ain't right here. And I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, that depression hit again. Because now it's December, it's January. And I'm like, yo, this is my career. This is my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I put so much into basketball, as you know, from a kid all the way up to now. It was like I was in this business of basketball from 13 all the way up to a grown man. And it was like, whoa, like, how can this happen? How can this happen? This is not supposed to happen. So from there on, I fell out of love. I fell out of love with the game. I fell out of love. I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand what was going on. Like I couldn't understand, bro. So I was like, yo, I gotta fire him. I gotta fire my agent. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say I should have been fired him because I got respect for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he at heart, he's a good dude, but I just didn't feel like my situation was ran properly. That's all. And
Indeed.
And so like at that point, like I had to fire him, and I was talking to my homie Tony Carr. Tony Carr at the time, he had just fired his agent, and he like, yo, bro, I just fired my agent too, but I'm dealing with this agent out in California. You want me to put you on with him? Cause he like, bro, you gotta hoop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta hoop, bro. Like, you too nice. You know what I'm saying? To not be hooping. I'm like, bro, I don't want to hoop for real. Like, this crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want, because if I get my heart broke again,
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's where I was at with it. Like, bro, if I get my heart broke again trying to push this basketball thing, I don't know what I don't know how I'm gonna react to it.
That's real right there.
That's real. I'm keeping it real with you.
Indeed.
So I said, he talked me into it. Tone Carr, he talked me into it. Like, bro, you got to do it, bro. Just get an agent a chance. Get an agent a chance, and see what happens. So I signed with the agent out in California, and he sent me to Mexico. This in like January. No, I want to say this like March. It's like March. He sent me to Mexico. My teammate, one of my teammates was Jordan Adams from he got drafted by the Grizzlies. Tough. Went to UCLA from Atlanta. That's my homie still to this day. We got real tight out there in Mexico. Mazatlan. Venados. That's the team name. So I go out there, bro. I'm murdering Mexico. Go out there and murder this COVID. This right before COVID hit. 2020, right before COVID hit. So they like, yeah, but nobody think COVID gonna be COVID, what it was. Like, people getting sick.
Everybody think it's gonna be a couple weeks.
It's in Spain, it's in China, it's a couple cases in the United States, couple cases in Pennsylvania, New York, all over. You know, it's a few. But it wound up spreading like real fast. And I remember in my first game, I think I had like my first game over there, they made it no fans. It was no fans because it was in Mexico. I think it was like one case in Tijuana. And it was like, yo, we gonna make it no fans. It's starting to come over here, you know, so we just gonna play the other team, refs, no fans. All right. So I think I had 4 points in the first half. Just, you know, I ain't played a game in a while. 4 points in the first half, 22 points in the second half. You know what I'm saying? So I got my rhythm back, just like that. You know what I mean? The light switch cut on. I had a big game. We won. Second game, we wound up playing the same team. It was crazy. We wound up playing the same exact team on a back-to-back, but at our crib. So we hopped on the bus and drove back home and played the same team the very next day. So we wound up playing them. We beat them again. I think I had like 18. And then right after that, they was like, yo, I think they about to shut the season down. So we wound up suspending the next game. So we had a few days off. So we out there, you know, in Mexico, we party and we having a good time or whatever. So our GM called us in. They like, yo, they just shut the season down. So we like, what? Me personally, I'm like, what? I can't take this right now.
I bet that. Yeah, that's a lot.
You know what I'm saying? So crazy thing. So I got on the last flight into America, literally the last flight into America before they cut the border off.
Wow.
The very last flight, I made it.
Wow.
Crazy. So I go back home. COVID happened. No basketball, no nothing for a minute. All it was the NBA bubble. If you remember that. They cut college off, everything. It was just a bubble. So it wasn't no basketball for a long time. So the agent hit me like, yo, they about to start it up the next year. They about to start it up or whatever. So I wound up going to Argentina. And when I got to Argentina, first of all, I just didn't have a good feeling about it. And, you know, it was a lot of things that I had, you know, that they told me was going to, you know, happen. And a lot of things that they said was going to be. It wasn't, you know, it was supposed to give me a signing bonus as soon as I got off the plane. I didn't get it. I was supposed to have my own crib. They had me in the hotel. So I didn't get that. So, you know, I'm up there practicing with the team and, you know, I'm, you know, killing the team. I'm ready. I'm prepared. And so before the first game, the coach called the GM the GM called the coach and told the coach to come get me. The coach could speak both languages. He could speak English in whatever language they were speaking at the time. So the GM was talking to the coach like, their sponsor, whoever the sponsor was, dropped out. You know, they don't have no way to pay me. But you know, they trying to just give him a chance, give him a week, like give him the chance to figure things out. But we played it like we play today. Yeah. Oh no, we play tomorrow. I'm sorry, we play tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So they're like, yeah, like, you know, we don't have no way to pay you right now, but just give us some time, and we'll figure some things out. Like we'll figure it out. And my agent at the time, he was like, nah, you can't play for free. You know what I'm saying? Like we not gonna let you play for free over there or whatever. So it was a crazy situation. So I go over there. They like, yeah, and like everybody, like, so I'm talking to the team. The team like, yeah, like, you know, they 2 months late on my check. Another guy saying like, yeah, they both late on my check. So I'm like, oh man, they gonna have me over here. These guys is playing, like they playing every game. I'm like, this ain't right, man. Like they, you know. So I told my agent what they were saying. He was like, all right, we gonna get you out of there. So I told my agent to tell him like, yo, get me out of there, send me back. You know what I mean? This is not a good space for me. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. So my agent at the time, he ain't had no bread. He ain't had no bread at the time. Yeah, he had no bread at the time. Like he was kind of like trying to figure things out for himself.
I mean, a lot of people was going through stuff after that COVID situation.
Yeah, after COVID, it was crazy. So he ain't really had no bread. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the team really was like, yo, we don't got no bread either.
Wow.
So I'm like, huh? You don't got bread and y'all don't got bread. So I got to pay for this flight. Paid for the flight. Flight wound up coming out. I think the flight came up to, I want to say like $1,200, something like that. Yeah, $1,200. I paid for the flight. I paid for the flight back home. The agent told me he was gonna give me the bread back. Never gave me the bread back. And that's how my career ended. Just like that. I was like, all right, I'm cool. I can't do this no more. I can't deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that like a lot of people don't understand that part. Like everybody like, yo, why you not playing? You know what I mean? Like people like even still to this day, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you ain't hooping. You know, like you get that. And at first it's like a little bit of like embarrassment. Like, you know, like, yeah, I'm not playing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like a little bit of depression there, but nobody understand that part. You gotta be strong. Like you gotta be strong to be able to handle this. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be strong to handle situations like this. Nobody understood it. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody could understand what I was going through as a person. You feel me? At the time, everybody, family included, everybody, nobody could understand what was going on in my head.
I know. I've been in a situation I was in when I went through my tragedy. Yeah. Like you in that situation, people could say they understand, but they not you. They don't really understand what's going on. And in y'all case, you know what I'm saying? I had a star for a girls basketball star, women's basketball star from Trenton on my podcast before, and she went through the same thing and she expressed the same thing. And that's why I always say that it needs to be something set up for players like that. When it's over, have some kind of system set up, have some kind of counseling or some kind of thing set up to help them transition back to regular life. You get what I'm saying? Because that's a transition. Now, how was that transition for you back to regular life?
I never had a regular life, so it wasn't no transition back to nothing. It wasn't back. It was new. So nobody understood that either.
Wow.
Feel what I'm saying?
Wow. This is deep, bro. This
and
deep.
my mind was in a crazy place at the time. Crazy. Like I like to see where I'm at now and where I was mentally, miracle. Miracle. Thank God every day.
Indeed, but this is why I always try to tell people that's the cross that you got to bear now. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? he allowed you to get through that. So you can have that testimony because there's so many other young boys that's going to go through that.
For sure.
Now you could go around to different places and talk to them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Preparing them for it. That's why he allows us to get through difficult situations, because that becomes our cross to bear. So now that's your job to go out and help these young boys get through that difficult transition. You get what I'm saying? And they see now that you're coaching. That's what we're gonna get into next. You're coaching and stuff, but that's why he allows things to happen to us. We don't know it at the time, but that's how we building our testimony so we could be in use for him. You get what I'm saying? Because if we never went through nothing in life, he wouldn't have no use for us. You get what I'm saying? So now that's your cross to bear, to go out and talk to these young boys, because this is a huge thing in our community. I mean, in basketball, period. I ain't gonna even say it's our community, but I know this young boy that I know, and he died, went back to Kentucky, and he was from there, and it didn't work out for him. And that depression hit him. Next thing you know, the substance abuse, because he don't want to feel it.
Yeah.
And he end up overdosing off fentanyl, man.
Now what's crazy is I never got into no
substances.
Like no substances and nothing like that.
All praises, bro.
I just know, like, my family. I knew I couldn't. I knew I could never go that route. I knew I seen too many examples in my family alone of what that does.
Bro. All praises.
So I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't end up like that.
Yeah, and that's a blessing. And that's a blessing, because it tricks you in the beginning and it seems like it's working. Yeah. But then when that thing turn on you, it's vicious, bro. It's vicious. You know what I mean? So that's good. The Most High got you through that. Now you know what your calling is. Now let's get into Coach Shep.
Dang, I need a haircut in this picture too. That's crazy.
Let's talk about it, man. What made you want to get into it? And
crazy.
What do you think you're gonna bring to the table?
All right, so it's a funny story. I didn't want to coach. I was just at that spot where I was done with the game. Like, I wanted to move on. I wanted to, get into other things. You know what I'm saying? My uncle Keith Taylor, shout out Uncle Keith, who's the head coach at Chester High now. He called me one night. And he like, yo, come over to the school tomorrow. Come over to the high school tomorrow. I want you to help me with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Would you come over? I'm like, I wanted to say no. But because it was him and all that he done for me in my life, I said yes. So I came over there, and them kids that was on that team, that Chester High team in 22, I want to say, or 2021, 22, something like that. The year that I was there, they brought the love back.
Oh, look at the Most High, man.
They brought the love back. Like that team, they weren't the most talented team, but they were similar to how my era was, not as good, but how close they were and how much they played together growing up. So it was like the same, like they played 6, 7, and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. They played AAU together. Now they in high school together. So it was that, you had that camaraderie, that familiarity, and they all knew me and respected me and was excited that I was around.
Wow. Look at the Most High.
So, my Uncle Keith like, yo, listen, man, we ain't the best team. We ain't the most talented team. I'm not looking, to win a championship or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I just, I want these guys to go out there and play hard and, give it their best shot. So I'm like, all right, cool. But when I go look at the team, I'm like, oh, you got a little bit more than you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be able to work with something here. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what I could do. You know what I'm saying? So I get around Conrad. Brought Conrad. I told my Uncle Keith, I'm like, yo, bring Conrad on too. You need me and him.
Dude.
So I hit Con. I'm like, cuz you wanna coach over the high? He like, yeah, of course. Bring him on. So now we over there, two best friends. We over there tag teaming. We coaching and then we playing in practice. We getting them ready. You know what I'm saying? So we wound up winning the district championship that year and going to the Final Four in the States that year.
Look at the Most High.
Yeah, we wound up winning the district championship on a buzzer beater at Temple, and going to the Final Four in the States, man, where we had no business being there. And like I said in the beginning of the season, man, Chester High, they known for having sellout crowds, big crowds, heavy support. Man, they wasn't even coming out in the beginning of the year. It was like a good 100 people in there, maybe 100. By the end of the season, we was selling out. We was selling out. I'm like, this is what I wanted to be a part of. So for me, it was like, all right, I didn't get to play, but I got to bring it back. Back. Like we had a little dry spell with Chester, talent being a little down, and I got to bring it back a little bit. So I felt good about that, and I felt like I was a part of that rebuild and trying to, turn the program around.
Yeah.
So after that year is over, I get a call from Coach Chambers, who I played for at Penn State. And he called my mom first. And I think I just had got a new number. And my mom was like, yo, PC been trying to call you. I'm like, oh, PC probably don't even have my new number. So he called her, and she was like, yeah, he wants you to come down there or whatever to Florida. He about to get a new job in Florida. I'm like, I don't want to coach no college ball, man. You know what I mean? I'm cool where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool where I'm at. I'd rather be here with my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather be here trying to build this program up. You know what I'm saying? But my mom was like, I mean, I ain't gonna tell you what to do.
God right there.
Yeah. She was like, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I feel like if try it. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But just try it. See if you like it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't know. So PC called me. And he like, yo, meet me at this breakfast spot. Let's talk or whatever. So the first time I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it, coach. Like I'm cool. Like, I thank you, but I just don't feel like, I want to do it or whatever. The first time. He like, you know what? I'm gonna give you 2 weeks. I'm gonna come back up here in 2 weeks because he was living in Florida. He already lived down here before he got the job. He lived down here already. So he's like, I'm gonna come back up here in 2 weeks and we're gonna talk again and then we're gonna see. So for those 2 weeks, I'm just sitting pondering on it. I'm crying and all that because I don't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't want to leave. I love what we was building there at Chester High. I thought that, I'm used to building things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, this is not new for me. I know I know what it takes to build something. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, and I'm building it in the city in Chester, where I live, where I love, where I bleed orange and black. I'm here. I want to be here, and I want to be a part of that. And my mom just like kind of talked me into it for real. She kind of just was like, yo, just try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But if you like it, you don't want to not try and then regret it later and say, dang, I wish I would have tried. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, you got me. Okay, I'm gonna try it. And
that's dope, man. That's dope.
I'm going into my third year. I'm going into my third year down here.
Now, how do you adjust to the new times, especially with these kids and this NIL thing and all of this? Like, what is that like? Give us from a coaching perspective. What is that like?
Well, it's different. It's definitely different. And for me, like, I just can remember when I was in college. I tell these young boys all the time, like, bro, if they had NIL when I was in college, they would have paid me $1 million. That's for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I'm kind of jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like we was getting our little, we was getting our checks and all of that, and we thought we was rich with the bread, the little bread that we get. They got way more bread than we was getting. But you know, they it's kind of cool to see the young boys getting paid. You know, able to actually cash in on, you know, they hard work before they turn pro. They get an opportunity to cash in on some money. You know, and you know, kind of. I think this is good for them because they get to learn how to manage money for real before they turn pro.
I never looked at that angle on it. I never thought, like, you know,
that's imagine you being a professional and you just now touching 100,000 or more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You just now touching $1 million. You're gonna blow it. But if you already, you know, you already then got you know, a bunch of what she say?
You said that's a fact. His shirts alone would have made him.
Yeah.
Oh, there go your mom. There she go.
Yeah. Like if imagine if these kids, those guys, you know, would have been able to touch, you know, a couple $100,000. They get millions of dollars, 700,000, 400,000, 500,000. Like the numbers that's being thrown around now to just average players. You know what I'm saying? Is crazy. So I think it's good for them. I know a lot of the old time coaches don't like it because they kind of lose control over their programs and lose control over their players and stuff like that because you know the transfer rule now. You know, you
the portal with the portal and that.
Yeah.
How hard it is to try to? Are you really trying to build a program, or you just go year to year in the coach's mindset?
Well, my coach is trying to build a program.
Okay.
PC, he trying to build a program. It's just different. You got to innovate. You got to innovate. You can't, you know, the old ways of doing things that just don't work because now the players have the power. And as coaches, we just got to respect it. We got to respect it and move accordingly. That's all. And I think a lot of like coaches that don't want to, you know, get along with the NIL situation and all of that, you're gonna see them fade out because it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? There's too much money involved now, so it ain't going nowhere. But I think it's a good thing. I think players now, you know, they don't understand that, you know, the more that they move around and the more that they show disloyalty, it's gonna hurt them in the pros.
Yeah, indeed, because people want to see that you could. People want to see that you could stick somewhere. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
And have the discipline of life to be able to deal with what goes on next. Like the way your parents raised you and putting you in those uncomfortable situations like Roman Catholic and dealing with that adversity. When it came time for you not to be able to play no more, that's where that fortitude and those values kicked in. You know what I mean? Subconsciously to keep you going. You feel what I'm saying? Like my mom raised me super strict. She gave me mental toughness. So when I went through that situation that lasted 10 years, a lot of people probably would have blown their brains out. But I didn't know it at the time, but she was developing me for that. You get what I'm saying? She didn't even know it at the time, but that's how God had it planned. So that adversity that they allowed you to go through came into play when you really needed it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why where you at now, because some other people probably would have been still sitting on their couch depressed and started using substances, feeling sorry for themselves. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that fortitude of allowing you to go through that adversity, and that's why that's a great job by your parents in that sense, man. In that sense.
No doubt.
So now let's take it to you. Come from a basketball-rich community, had some studs there and stuff. You know what I mean? Where do you think you stack up with some of the best that came from Chester?
Amongst the best.
Amongst the best? Absolutely. I got a real good question for you then. Give me your Chester Mount Rushmore. Now, I only know some of the people that I don't know who was nasty around the way. I don't know who was nasty around the way. I don't know.
Man, you trying to get me in trouble.
I don't know who could have made it. I don't know none of that.
You trying to get me in trouble?
Tell me what 4 go up there.
I'm not putting myself in it.
Okay.
Number 1, Tyreek.
The best ever out of Chester?
Ever. Yeah, the best ever. The LeBron. He was LeBron.
Wow.
He was LeBron. You seen it?
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah,
he was LeBron. I never seen nothing like it. I never seen nobody seen nothing like that.
It just seemed like what was crazy about it was he just seemed like he was playing in slow motion, but couldn't nobody stop him. And I just yo, this is crazy.
Yeah. It's too easy. It was too easy.
Yeah.
So Reek would be number 1 for me. Darren Govins.
He up there. It's only 4 slots. He up there. He was nice. And I heard he used to destroy people in the leagues, like the
absolutely Darren Govins. Darren Govins. If it wasn't no Reek, for me, it would be Darren Govins.
Wow.
If there was never a Reek.
Wow. You got 2 more spots.
Man, you trying to get me in trouble, man. Gotta put Jameer up there. You have to. You just have to.
Yeah.
You just have to.
Yeah.
Jameer is just the one that kind of set the foundation of. He paved the way. Like he was the one that made it possible for us. Who's to say it wouldn't be no Reek if it wasn't for Jameer?
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? He put Chester on a national scale, on that national, stage where he National Player of the Year in college. He put the small school St. Joe's on the map. All of that. Jameer, shout out Jameer. Now he's still, paving the way for Chester for real. He's still doing it. So shout out to Jameer. The last spot, Karan Burton.
Oh, you gotta tell me why. Why?
Karan Burton, the most electrifying player. He more electrifying than Reek.
Karan Burton was so cocky. I used to go to the games for Metro Hoops, covering the game. He used to be. Now I'm at the media table.
Yeah.
He talking to me while he playing. He turned around telling me, "Watch how I kill this young boy. Watch what I do with taking his mouthpiece in and out."
He electrifying
in and out while he talking to me, while he playing in the game, laughing. I said,
the
hook, man.
Yeah, he make my Mount Rushmore. He make my Mount Rushmore because, like I said, we grew up watching him. Like he was right before us. You know what I'm saying? Like he was right before our era. He graduated 2008. I got into college 2011. I mean high school 2011. So he was like right before us, and we grew up watching him. He was like our Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying? He was like the street dude. He got that. He had that street ball. He had that street ball style and that street credibility. And then he put it in front of the cameras, and it was like they went. I think they lost one game. They was number 3 in the nation. They won the state championship. He won Delco Player of the Year over Reek. Like it was crazy. Like it was crazy. So Karan Burton definitely is on my Mount Rushmore because like he the most electrifying player I've ever seen in person.
Wow. All right, man. Yeah. All right, man. It's and I think I might know your answer, but I always ask this question to people. Give me a situation you feel that I think we talked about it though, that God got you through so you could be an inspiration for other people.
I never looked at it that way. I never looked at it that way. You know, when you're going through things and you going through life, you don't really understand what's going on. You don't understand why either. You know, I think that's the biggest part. Like for me, I didn't understand why, and I felt like, you know, since you were a kid, you have these dreams and aspirations, and you know, of how things will and should go.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't go like that. It didn't go like that. And for me, I thought my future, like what I thought in my mind, I thought that was promising.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And nothing is promised. Nothing is promised. You just don't know what, you know, what's in store for you. And like I never had issues with basketball ever. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like I never had issues with basketball, with the game, ever in my life. And I think God God brought me through. God brought me through that storm. That was the hardest time. That was the hardest time of my life. Just
Mm-hmm.
life, period. Like
Mm-hmm.
not just basketball, just life, period. Like it was just like a growing up moment where, you know, like I said, my life was basketball, for real, for real. Like I never experienced life without basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So like my routine was wake up, eat, work out.
Mm-hmm.
After you work out, then you know, go eat again. You want, you know, go have some fun, whatever the case may be. Then you gonna go hoop later or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was like I never had life without basketball. And when basketball was kind of like taken away, I didn't know myself.
Indeed.
Like I didn't know who I was without basketball. If that makes sense.
100%.
Oh,
100%.
okay, yeah. Like I
No,
didn't know.
100%. I'm feeling you because what happens is he gave you the opportunity to let you see that you was more than basketball. See,
Yeah,
what happens is like in my situation, it took 10 years for what happened with my wife and the
right.
trial and all that. Everything took 10 years, right? So
Mm-hmm,
each year I wanted God to solve the case. And I used to get
mm-hmm,
frustrated, like, why did it take 10 years for everything to get over, right?
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
but when I went out and started telling my story, I had 10 years of testimony that can
Mm,
help so many different people. Now,
mm-hmm.
if he would have solved it after year one, only would have been able to help that amount of people with my story.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? So here, I
Mm-hmm,
didn't know this at the time. You get what I'm saying? That's what he was
mm-hmm,
doing. So now when I bring out everything that happened over those 10 years in a whole room
mm-hmm,
full of people,
mm-hmm,
different people could take apart from it. That's going to help them.
mm-hmm,
You get what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? So now he allowed you to get through what you was going through because it's going to be a room full of young boys that seniors at different places where you go speak. They're going to need to know that they could get through what you got through because they're going to be going through it.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
what
Honestly, I didn't know where to turn, man. I like it was rough, bro. That was a very,
I
very, very
understand.
rough
I
time.
understand when it get dark and it seems like the world is going against you and stuff like that, and you don't
Yeah,
know.
everything,
That's when he
everything, and
built.
everybody,
Yeah,
everything and
I've been there.
everybody.
I've been there. I've been there. And then, but that the way you was raised and your faith in God, it got you through. And then when you come on the other side and when you start going out and you really start touching these young boys and letting them know, and then they call you when they going through it, and you can let them know how to get through that, then it's gonna click.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, God, I got it.
mm-hmm,
Now I know why I'm here. And then you're gonna
mm-hmm,
go up, and then he's gonna set you up with something else after that. But
mm-hmm,
this is how he goes. This is why
mm-hmm,
we go through things like that. So we could build
mm-hmm.
that testimony and get our character together so we could be in use for him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I would say. Like I think those 2 years,
Mm.
I think it was a lot of different situations that I was in
Mm-hmm.
uh, that I had to crawl out of,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
by myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been
And
there, bro. I've been there.
I got a lot of experience with life, how things work, and uh, I got to learn myself.
Indeed, brother. Indeed.
I got to learn myself. Like I got to learn myself. I did not know myself. I'm 20. I was 20 something years old. I can't even remember. I was 20 something years old, and like I didn't know myself without a basketball. And for real, nobody knew me without a basketball.
Wow. That's
so
deep.
To see me without a basketball, even still to this day, like to I think to see me coaching, it kind of for people, for other people, it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, because at least he got a basketball in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at least he doing something with a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I know myself without a basketball, and I think now, you know, I don't really rely on the game for my happiness anymore.
All praises. All
Feel what I'm saying?
All praise. And
in the most respectful way. Like, I don't rely on basketball for my happiness. It's just now my happiness comes from within.
Yeah, and now you just really getting on your journey, brother. It's a whole lot more that's gonna be revealed to you, man. But Shep, man, this been a joy, brother. We went down memory lane. I got to know Shep all the way around, man. I want to thank you for coming on. Soon as we get done, I'm gonna send you the YouTube version of this, and then I send it to my app, and then I get the highlights, and I'm gonna be posting them joints like crazy. It's gonna send me like mad highlights of this joint. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go from there. I want to thank you. Tell Kim I love y'all, Kim. Tell your dad I said what's up, man. That's my guy, man. Man, and thanks for coming on, brother.
You're welcome, man. It's all good. It's all love, family.
All right, no doubt, man. No doubt, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bro.
All right. Wow, man. Great interview with Shep, man, and got a chance to really get to know him, man. And I hope that a lot of the young fellas took heed of when he was talking about going through the situation of making that transition and going through the mental health. That's very important, man. Stay tuned tomorrow on Soberheads Podcast, One Day at a Time. We got my man Jose coming on. He was an integral part of my recovery. Tune in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your night. Shalom.